Hello, I'm Simon Welham from Welham Jones Funerals and Memorials, and I hope that this 4-minute video documents from a social history perspective our COVID journey. Right from early January 2020, unlike the SARS or bird flu scares of previous decades, Covid-19 seemed to me to be a real threat. In fact, given its origin in China and the migration of millions of its citizens for the Chinese New Year at that time, it surprised me that Covid wasn't here much sooner. Anyway, we started buying PPE in batches from early January as the likelihood of a pandemic increased steadily. We watched the statistics earnestly for the first European case, the first UK case, and inevitably the first death. We monitored our trade association's guidelines to ensure we were compliant. We prepared risk assessments and staff guidelines on what to ask clients on the phone, what PPE should be worn and when. Above all, we wanted to know, could we catch it from the dead? We liaised with Kent Resilience Forum, reported our status to them, green, amber and red for both storage and staff. Staff sickness and isolation I rated a greater threat to the business than Covid itself. I looked at any projections I could to try and quantify just how bad it could be, by which I meant how many excess deaths we might expect over and above the seasonal average. For Kent, it was a wide range depending on Public Health England's best and worst guesstimates, and the range was between 100 and 2,000. The question though was, would they be all at once or spread out over time? And then on the 23rd of March, lockdown. For us, business as normal, albeit with very limited attendance. Our offices shut to the public, isolating our staff in a virtual bubble with their families. No more than 6 mourners at a funeral, deserted roads, no traffic, no queues. Virtual meetings on Zoom, all paperwork signed with signable and served electronically, something the powers that be said could never be done. Oh, the power of emergency legislation. Limousines off the road and in storage, our bearers clad in face coverings having to make their way to cemeteries and crematoria. No church services, coffin shortages due to demand, especially those from Asia. Doors plastered and covered with appeals for hands, face, space, and of course the ubiquitous sanitiser. And in southeast London, what resembled mass graves and a constant shuttle of hearses from Tower Hamlets. Thursday evenings at 8, a clap for the NHS and key workers such as us. And at our head office, additional storage capacity courtesy of all people, a scaffolding firm called Tuber Monkeys. Then, as the days grew longer and the R fell back, lockdown was lifted for a few brief months. Churches opened their doors, horse-drawn hearses returned along with limousines, now divided with perspex. Clients were able to visit our offices, socially distanced of course. 4 tiers, then 5 as autumn became winter, and eventually tier 6. And my goodness, if we thought the spring had been busy, winter 2021 was almost apocalyptic. Seasonally, we have been and we remain 25% ahead of normal. And from a quarter of all our funerals being Covid victims in spring 2020, it was well over a half during January and February 2021, with full PPE in the mortuary de rigueur. How fashionable. The delay in getting a funeral rose towards 5 weeks, and we struggled to get families to choose coffins, meaning even greater pressure on storage capacity. With 30 mourners maximum and webcasts allowing friends and families to drop in virtually, funerals are just not the same. There are no wakes or receptions, not because they aren't permitted, they are, but the venues are shut. So cream teas in a box to take away, with a drop of fizz, of course. And there I will end my resume. We've been vaccinated. The roadmap to normality has been published. Can't wait. And here's hoping we never see the like again. And the moral of our story? Hope for the best, but plan for the worst.